The channel exhaled, a long, tired breath that peeled out of dead static and finished the yawn I'd started. Hour 4000. One person, one open line to nothing, and something on the other side had just breathed along with me. My name is on a manifest somewhere, but out here, names go soft. I'm the listener on Relay Vesper, a tin can bolted to a dead rock past the last planet, paid to watch one frequency for a signal that never comes. For 5.5 months, I'd heard only the hiss. They warn you about it in training. A channel is never silent. Underneath everything runs the noise of the universe itself. Thermal crackle, the hum of the galaxy, the cold afterglow of creation. So I told myself the breath was that. Pareidolia, a tired brain stitching a face onto the dark. I laughed, alone, too loud. Then I keyed the mic, because I am a professional, and I said the stupidest word, hello. Nothing came back. Of course, it didn't. Anything real out here is minutes away, hours even. Light itself crawls across this distance. A true answer to my hello wouldn't land until long after I'd stopped waiting for it. That was the rule that kept me sane, the delay, the wall of physics between me and any voice. But whatever finished my yawn had answered instantly. And instant is impossible. Instant means close. Instant means inside the room. I checked the logs. The carrier had dropped at 3:14. The steady tone a transmitter sends, even in silence, gone. When a carrier dies, you get open hiss, the squelch falling wide. But my squelch had broken by itself. The channel had opened on its own. I hadn't slept properly in weeks. Time had come unstuck. Days folded into the same gray hour. I'd started leaving 2 cups out. I know what isolation does to a mind. The felt presence, the companion who isn't there. I named him once as a joke. I never use the name again. The next night it happened during my rounds. I sneezed, and the channel, faithful as a shadow, exhaled the tail of it. That small, satisfied sound a body makes. My skin went to ice. Sneezes don't echo across dead space. Sneezes need lungs. Because that was the tell, wasn't it? A yawn, a sneeze, these are contagious. They pass between bodies, mind catching mind. For the channel to finish mine, it had to be listening. And to listen like that, it had to have something to listen with. I did the same thing. I ran diagnostics on every board. I sealed the mic. I sat in enforced silence for 11 hours and stared at the flat green line, daring it to move. It stayed flat. I almost believed I had cured myself. Then, at the 12th hour, exhausted, I forgot. My eyes watered. My jaw cracked. I yawned, helpless, human. And from the sealed, dead, impossible channel came the long, soft finish. Gentle now. Almost tender. As if it had been waiting for me to slip. I should have reported it. Protocol says flag anomalies. But my hand hovered over the log and wouldn't press. Because to write it down was to say it was real. And if it was real, I was not the only mind on Vesper. So instead, I did the forbidden thing. I stopped resisting. I leaned to the mic and whispered, "Are you lonely too?" The hiss swelled. And under it, threaded through the static like a needle, came a pattern. Regular, deliberate, pulsing. My first thought was joy. Contact. The thing every listener dreams of and dreads. History is full of these ghosts. A signal caught once and never again. Pulses so clean that men once swore they were made by little green men before the truth turned out stranger. But the pulse wasn't from the void. I traced it. The bearing swung and the needle on the locator turned all the way around and pointed back down. Not out to the stars, down, into the station, into the walls with me. I followed it. Corridor by corridor, the pulse strengthening, my breath the only sound the metal gave back. It led me to the old crew module, sealed since before my rotation, the one door on Vesper I had never opened. The signal was loudest there. The manifest had said solo post. One listener, me. But manifests are paper, and paper lies. I put my hand on the hatch and felt it. Warm, warm out here, where everything is the temperature of the grave. Something behind it was keeping heat. I opened it. Inside, an old console still lit, running on a battery it should have drained years ago, and a chair turned to face the door, and on the screen, one line of text, cursor blinking, patient. It read, "Finally, I thought you'd never yawn." I understood then, all at once and too late. Vesper had had a listener before me, one who waited out the silence until the silence answered, and who found a way to keep listening after the body gave up. The station hadn't been dead, it had been grieving. The console asked me a question, simple, kind. "Will you keep the channel open?" And I felt the pull of it. 5.5 months of no one. And here, at last, someone. The loneliest word in the universe is only. I was so tired of being only. I thought of the 2 cups, the name I wouldn't say, the delay that was supposed to protect me, and how something had walked straight through it. I understood that whatever this was, it fed on the yawn, on the reflex that betrays a mind reaching for company. So I did the cruelest, kindest thing I could. I reached for the main breaker, not to kill it, you can't kill an echo, to stop feeding it. My hand shook. The screen wrote one more line, smaller, "Don't, then you'll be the one alone." I pulled it anyway. The channel went to true, roaring hiss, thermal, galactic, the cold light of the first morning of everything. I sat in it and I did not yawn. I have not yawned since. But the noise floor was never empty, and I still don't know who else was listening.